includes pranksters. No, right? You, sir, back there with that banjo on your lap. I know you play tricks. Well, the children happened to have a perfect opportunity one spring. They came in, and one of them had been eating leeks. And they are stronger than any onions. I made the mistake, I was quite inexperienced at the time, of saying anyone who came in smelling of leeks would be sent home. You see what happened, right? When they all came in reeking, I sent out children to gather leeks, and I ate as many of them as I possibly could stand. And then we all reeked. Now, I hope you don't know, well, by now she's considerably older, so I don't think you'll know who I'm talking about. A young girl by the name of Pearl came from a very large family. Now, you know children generally walk to school unless they came from a great distance. Then they might ride horses, donkeys, mules, or maybe get a ride in a wagon. She came from a large family, and so they had to hire someone who apparently didn't like this girl very much. And I have to say, it was a little bit sometimes challenging to be around Pearl. I mentioned she came from a large family. One day when Pearl got out of the wagon driver said, "Pearl smells like a billy goat, Pearl smells like a billy goat." And she did. I tried to talk to her parents about this. It wasn't that Pearl didn't want to smell better, but she came from a large family. And when the weekly bath came along and they heated up the water on the stove, the youngest were the ones they started with because, of course, cold water and young children is difficult. By the time they would get to Pearl, she would either fall asleep or she'd find the water was cold. So Pearl smelled like a billy goat. Also, we didn't encourage pets to come to school. I know all of you know about the story of Mary Had a Little Lamb. Well, some children were coming to school one day, and they happened to hear a noise coming from the local, they called it, haunted house. It was an old abandoned farmhouse, and they heard this sound. Now, they were a group of children, boys and girls together. The girls weren't about to go in, but some of the boys were willing to show they were brave, and they heard this sound that sounded like a baby crying. The boys went in and came out with, "You were the one with the cat bag, aren't you?" A little kitten. Well, of course, the kitten was allowed to stay for the day, and sometimes we've had children who would find baby rabbits along the way, or maybe a nest that had fallen down. So I stretch things a little bit, although I make an exception for snakes. And I do not appreciate one in my desk, and you will not be happy if I find one. I have to say that we had another incident that was rather funny.